Okay, let's try this again. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb this time, so we should be good. Just gonna pin this so we can get back to our regular scheduled programming. My phone is on Do Not Disturb now, y'all, so we should be fine. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I am so sorry and I apologize about all the disturbances, but we are here now and let's get it. Can y'all hear me? I want to make sure y'all can hear me. I want to make sure y'all can hear me so we do not have to stop and start anymore tonight. Y'all, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Clearly, this conversation must go forth because, listen, the amount of disturbances has just been, it has been blasphemy. So tonight we are talking about why aren't millennial women submitting? Now, like I said before, I have talked to a number of women. At this point, y'all, I swear I've probably talked to at least 10 women. And I am interested in, hey, Justo, I'm interested in the male's perspective tonight as well, because I've only talked to women about this so far. And I didn't want to be biased, and I wanted to bring a lot of perspectives tonight because I know this is a loaded question. Hey, sis, I know this is a loaded question, a loaded topic, and I wanted to make sure that I did my research, I did my due diligence to be able to understand different perspectives. So, I've talked to married women. Let me say this. I've talked to happily married women. I've also talked to not so happy married women. I've talked to single women. I've talked to women who are in relationships and they've been in relationships for years. I've also talked to women who are seeking divorce, and I've talked to women who are currently divorced. So y'all, we covering all bases. We covering all grounds because I know the guys gonna come up in here, you know, trying to be rowdy about the single women, you know, and we got all these different lifestyles in front of us with these perspectives, and I'm telling y'all, there's some good perspectives, and they all sound pretty similar. So it's not too far off. So really, guys, tonight, you know, you only come in here with your chest all puffed out about women don't do this and women can't do that and they don't listen and they want to be independent. They don't need us and they got attitudes and all that kind of stuff. You can say what you want to say. But I've talked to a lot of women, okay, over the past couple days, and their perspectives sound very similar to one another, whether they are married, happily or not, divorced or wanting to be divorced, single, in happy, loving relationships for years. We covering all bases. So when I first started the live, I was asking people, what do they think that submission means? What does the word submit mean to you? So when I'm asking why aren't millennial women submitting, yes, we diving in deep tonight. So I need y'all in these comments. I need y'all going up in these comments because we talking about it all. So when I'm asking why aren't millennial women submitting, what does that mean to you? What does the word submit mean to you? And so we had someone say conforming to your partner without being forced to or told to. And we also had another person say, what'd you say, Jackson? He talked about being in partnership, which I think is a very important perspective. Jackson, put in the comments again what you said, what your definition of the word submit is. And y'all tell me, because I see a lot of other people joining that were not in the first couple lives. Y'all, this live drug me through the dirt, okay? This is like, what, the third time? The third time that we trying to do this, because I was getting calls and now my phone is finally on Do Not Disturb, so should not have those issues anymore. But y'all let me know in the comments. I want to give y'all a chance as well to share your perspective on what does the word submit mean to you? Free of charge, but being content with your partner's needs and wants. Yes, love that definition. Being content with your partner's needs and wants. So y'all let me know in the chat, what do y'all think about it? Because, you know, when we say the word submit, a lot of people take that with a negative connotation, right? A lot of people think like, oh, submission means that you're allowing somebody to control you, or you can't be independent or have your own perspective while submitting to your partner, or and keyword partner, okay? Because a lot of people ask for submission and y'all not even in partnership. So what does that mean to y'all? You know, because submission doesn't have to be a bad thing. Submission, when you break it down, sub means under and mission is a goal. Can y'all get under the same goal? Keyword y'all. That is so good. That is such a good perspective. I'm going to read that again. So, submission, when you break it down, sub means under and mission is a goal. Can y'all get under the same goal? Keyword y'all. That's that partnership. That's that partnership we talking about. That keyword y'all. Yes. Can y'all get under the same goal? Where, if you're leading, where are you leading her to? I like that. Yes. I like that definition, sis. Millennial women don't feel safe to submit. Okay. Because I don't know why people don't want to talk about that. First of all, number one, yes. Man of God, you have snapped with that definition, because that is all it's about. Partnership and understanding that y'all both have the same will, the same purpose, the same goals. And I don't think it has to look exactly alike, but to know that you can trust your partner. You can trust that there's a common goal that y'all trying to reach and that y'all doing it together. So when we're talking about millennial women don't feel safe to submit, why do y'all think that is? Why do y'all think that is? Because if we talking about business-wise, financially-wise, women making paper, women making bank, we get into the bag, okay? We are getting to the bag in this season. Women are out here doing their thing. Women are dominating in areas that they have not dominated in the past. And, you know, pat on the back to all my successful women, all my ladies. Let's just, I'm gonna just take this moment to say I'm proud of my ladies. I'm proud of my strong, independent women. Of course, the women who are looking to be independent and they're doing their best to hustle and grind and get to where they need to go to level up and elevate. But my women who are dominating in areas that were once male dominated, to my women who understand that they don't need, okay, they don't need to have a man. You may want one, but you understand that you can pay your own bills. You can drive your own car. You can make your own money. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. And those who are striving for it, I will keep you in my prayers. For real. So, now that that's done with, I just had to put that out there because I'm so proud of my ladies. And because we have so many millennial women dominating right now, yes, you can buy your own house, okay? Even if you renting right now, you don't have to worry about nobody paying your rent because you can pay it on your own. I see a lot of women buying houses. Yes, I see a lot of women doing the doggone thing right now. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud because that's not something that was going on back in the day. Women had to submit because the men were the breadwinners. Now that the women are winning bread, they don't have to deal with a lot of things that they were dealing with before. So let's look at the comments. Can the man properly lead in order for us women to consider submission? Now, sis, you know that they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that because a lot of men have never been taught how to lead. And that ain't shade and that ain't shots. That is the honest truth. A lot of men have not grown up with other men in their life who are teaching them how to lead. So they're leading or lack thereof from what they know, their perspective, if that makes sense. And it may be leading her straight to hell, just to be real. And yet he will still come in and say, no, listen to me. I run this because I am the man. And nowadays that don't hold no weight. You having the title of a man don't hold no weight. So yes, can the man properly lead in order for us women to consider submission? I think that if we don't get into these perspectives, because y'all asking the right questions. This brings back that combo of divine energy, divine feminine energy, and divine masculine energy. Being able to do it alone and being called to do it alone are two totally different concepts. Yes. That is so good. That is so good. That is knowing that, I wish I had you on here tonight, man of God. If you get a chance to join, I would love for you to come on and talk about that divine feminine and masculine energy, because I cannot explain it the way that you explained it. And I think it's such a good, a good concept. I really do. Yes, girl power. Sounds like the man needs to submit to us. Don't make him mad, sis. Don't upset him, sis. But really, and you know what? There are some men who don't mind submitting to women. And I don't think there's, well, hold on. Because my flesh want to say I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But we know how that could cause issues. And I'm going to tell you how. Because men want to be men even if you don't think they're a man. That's a word. Men want to be men even if us as women don't look at them as men. They want to be valued. They want to be respected. I mean, who don't? But I'ma just hold off. I'ma hold off on that. I'ma give y'all these perspectives that I have, because y'all y'all are turning up in this chat and I cannot even keep my thoughts straight. Okay, let me see what else we got. But could you really be with the man submitting to you and constantly leading always, like always? No. And that's why I had to pause and say that that's the flesh speaking. When women want to lead and they just want to be in the position that the man is supposed to be in, I think that we were not meant to be that way alongside a man. So that's going to get taxing really quick. So, let me jump back to what the word submit means based on what the internet said. So submit means to accept or yield to a superior force or to the authority or will of another person. So that's the actual definition of it. I don't really see, based on this topic, I don't really like the whole superior force or authority. Let's go with will of another person. So y'all already said that. Y'all get the gist. Y'all understand what we talking about when we say submit. So I'm gonna let y'all know what these different perspectives are, and I hope my guys can tell me what y'all think about these, because like I said, these are coming from women with different backgrounds and different stories. So this first one is from a woman who is married, happily married, right? So she said that submission was a long process because when she originally got married, she didn't understand what biblical submission looked like because she was so used to being independent. And so it was hard for her to be able to submit to her husband. But then she realized after time went on that she was out of line and she could submit. So she also realized in that, okay, and it's probably gonna catch some of y'all up, okay, because she realized that submission is 2 ways. Now, a lot of people don't talk about that. They think about the woman needing to submit to the man, but they don't talk about the man submitting to the woman. So she realized that submission is 2 ways. And she spoke about if her and her husband submitted to Christ, then they were submitting to becoming one. And that it was not about power, but about mutual respect and honor. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. What are y'all saying in the comments? Let's see. So the thing is, how do we become better? So we pick better. Okay, we'll talk about that. Don't let me forget. People joining my class, I gotta go, but I'll definitely be back if y'all stay on. Love the convo. Awesome. Have a good class. Okay, so that perspective is from a married woman. I got that men should protect and provide with consistency. This came from, I feel you should submit to the needs of your partner. Yes, I totally agree. So this came from, I spoke to a woman who is married and seeking divorce. I spoke to a woman who is married and not seeking divorce, but she's not particularly happy in her marriage. And a woman who has been with her partner for 3 years. And each of them agreed that the man is to protect and provide with consistency. I think that with consistency is really important because a lot of guys are inconsistent. You know, when you first meet them, They opening doors, they paying for stuff, they keeping a job, they cooking. And then time goes on. Time goes on and you find that they're rude, they're disrespectful, they're inconsiderate, they're unfaithful, they're abusive. They say they're going to do things that they don't do. The list goes on. So how would a woman find herself being comfortable with submitting to a man that is inconsistent, because you never know what you're going to get? And I don't even want to say a man. Let's say a partner who's inconsistent. You never know what you're going to get. You're not comfortable. Things are just, they all over the place. So let's move to the next point. Now, this one was my favorite, y'all, because this is one of my good friends, and her boyfriend have been together for a couple years at this point. I believe it's probably been 2 years. But she said something that really touched my heart. She said she could close her eyes and let him lead, knowing he wouldn't let her fall. The fact that she feels so comfortable that she can close her eyes and allow him to lead. She said that she doesn't have to watch her back with him. A lot of people in relationships with people that they gotta watch their back with, who make them feel like they're not on their team. How can you submit to somebody like that? She said there's a healthy level of trust, listening, and respect. Love that. The next person said, let's see. Who's this? Oh, okay. So this person was married, and she said she made him feel like a man. She didn't belittle him. Even if he was wrong, she made him feel right, but she would do her own thing. She was married young and not as experienced. But she said if she married today, then this is not the same approach that she would take. She would be more independent. But you know what? She allowed him to be a man, and she made him feel like he was right, even if she didn't always agree with him, because he handled the household. He did that protecting and providing that we talked about earlier. She said he handled the bills and the kids. So she made sure that she could follow him, because what's not healthy, Jackson? She said that he handled the bills and the kids. So she was able to follow him or allow him to lead because he was the head of the household. But she did say that she was less experienced and she married young. So now that she is wiser, she would not take this same approach. But I love the fact that she mentioned that he handled the household, because a lot of men nowadays don't want to handle the household. They want to make babies that they don't take care of. You know, they want to eat up everything in your fridge and not restock it. You know, they don't even want to pump your gas. They don't want to open your door. They don't want to walk you to the door. They don't want to come pick you up. You got to meet them everywhere, or you got to go pick them up. I mean, it's a lot. And these same men are the men that want to be respected and they want to be valued, but are not doing the things that are required of a man. Oh, moving right along. So, this person is divorce. She said that while she was married, submitting to her meant submitting to the mission of God through her husband. But at the time, they were unequally yoked. So he was Muslim and she was Christian. So a lot of their values and mindsets did not align with one another. She said they weren't supposed to be together at that particular time in their lives. And she wasn't able to submit comfortably and safely. And she listed some reasons about why she wasn't able to commit comfortably and safely. And some of them included abuse and adultery. If y'all know what adultery is, that means sleeping with other people while you married. Big no-no. But he was a man, right? In his eyes, and he expected that she would submit. But why would she submit to his leadership when he was leading her to a place she didn't want to go, and he was abusive, and he was not faithful? Makes absolutely no sense. So lo and behold, they got a divorce, and she is much happier. I have another woman. She mentioned still trying to prove ourselves as equals. And that right there, I wish she was here tonight to be able to further dig into that. But knowing what I know about her, she's really big on women's rights and social causes and things like that. And so it's important to her for people to be seen as equals. And I agree with that as well. But that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where women are now dominating in industries that they weren't once dominating in. And so now women are requiring a certain level of respect and value that they weren't once able to demand, because now they have the same qualities and credentials as the men who were once leading these industries. So I thought that was a good perspective too. And this last person, she's also divorced, but her and her ex-husband are still mutual. They still have a friendship. And so she said there's a difference between submitting entirely and not. So she understood her place as a wife, but she also led in areas she was stronger in, but she led in a loving way. So she didn't belittle him. She didn't make him feel less of a man, but he allowed her to lead in areas. I don't even like saying that he allowed her to, but she was able to lead in areas that she knew she was stronger in, and he was able to accept that. And she was also accepting of feedback. So there are the perspectives. So let's see what y'all saying in the comments. Let's see. Trust, that's the word, I believe. Due to lack of consistency, that will cause us not to trust, resulting in us being hesitant to submit. Yes, totally agree, sis. Because how can you trust somebody who's inconsistent? One day you're here, next day you're not. One day you faithful, next day you're not. One day you love me, the next day you don't. She stroked his ego when she didn't agree. You know what? A lot of guys like their ego stroked, even if they're wrong. You know, so a lot of people will say, I don't mind you telling me, your perspective, or righting my wrongs, telling me when you think that I'm in the wrong, giving me constructive criticism, all that. But like literally, y'all, and I'm pretty sure y'all have experienced it too. The minute you say something that they don't agree with about them, they think you're attacking them. They don't think that there's anything really wrong with them. So the minute that you say, hey, that's not really working, they feel like, oh, you trying to change me. You don't love me for who I am. So a lot of people do like their ego stroked, and that ain't gonna fly with everybody. That ain't gonna fly with everybody. Not eat everything in the fridge and not restock it. You know, yes, okay. So, Miriam, I need you to further explain what you meant in your text when you said that, when you said still trying to prove ourselves as equals. I just got done reading the perspectives, and I kind of tried to elaborate on yours based on what I know about you, but I definitely don't want to take your words. So if you could just request to join a live or put in the chat what you meant by still trying to prove ourselves as equals. I know you just got in here and I'm already putting you to work, but I really wanted you to be able to fully say what you meant. When you're saying letting the man lead or woman, what is your definition on that? Okay, awesome. I'm so glad you asked. Okay, so let me start by saying, excuse me. Let me start by saying that I am independent, right? So I get up and go to work. Okay, let me figure out how to add you, Miriam, or you can send me a request. Okay, cool. There you go. I accepted your request. Okay, there we go. Hi, Love Bug. How are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, sorry I'm so late. I just got off work, so
Oh,
I'm driving.
it's all
I
good.
didn't want to text and drive, so you guys are gonna have to deal with
No worries. So, do you want to dive into what you meant by still trying to prove ourselves as equals? Oh, it looks like we may be losing some connection.
Can you hear
Okay,
me?
I can hear you now. Yep,
Okay. Um, so ask me the question again. I'm sorry.
you're good.
What's the topic again?
So, we're talking about why aren't millennial women submitting? So, whether that's in relationships or in business, why is it more challenging for women today to submit?
All right. So this is a two-part question, or a two-part answer, I should say.
Hmm.
Um, so for one thing, I want to say for the past, 50 years, if not more, we've been trying to prove ourselves as equals to men, right? We have had all sorts of different laws put in place just to give us those rights, to be able to vote, to be able to um, buy our own house, own our own land, um, to be able to even get paid equally as men, right?
Hmm.
And so we've done such a good job of it. We have risen to CEO places, CEO seats, um, board members, business owners, and we've even Olympics, right?
Hmm.
We've pretty much proved ourselves, but we're still proving ourselves. This struggle is still going on, and so with us getting so far ahead and still not being where we need to be, I feel like a lot of us, especially us independent women, um, strong-willed women, we're kind of not going to take the back seat unless we want to.
Mm.
So right now we're still working towards earning our right to sit in the front seat. So we're not going to just all willy-nilly take the back seat as an option. The second part is the men of this generation are not the men of the previous generation. They've
Mm-hmm.
gotten comfortable with their women working. They've gotten comfortable with the woman being able to do everything, right? So instead of taking a pause and saying, wow, she can actually handle a full-time job and still manage to bear children and raise them, they've gotten so accustomed to women doing it all that I feel like they've kind of, I don't want to offend anybody or no,
Listen,
but they've
say,
taken a back
yeah,
seat to half the stuff. I mean,
keep it real.
we are able and capable of doing everything on our own. So it's to a point where it's like, what do I need a man for?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So we're not going to back down if we can do it all on our own.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to take a
Mm-hmm.
back seat if we can do it all on our own. And the men are kind of like, well, if she can do it all on her own, I don't really need to do anything. Instead of saying, hey, you can do it all on your own. I know you can. I know you're capable of even more than what you're already doing, but I'm here. You don't need to. And they're kind of
Woo!
forgetting to take that step back and say, I'm still the man. Like the independent, strong women are not opposed to saying, hey, we'll take a back seat as long as you're being taken care of, right? But the men
Mm-hmm.
aren't really taken care of. So
Mm-hmm.
just because I
Mm-hmm.
can do it on my own doesn't mean I should do it on my own
Come on
if you're going
now.
to man up and do your part.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so the question is, why aren't the men stepping up? Okay, that is a really good question, and I'm so glad you asked because we got a man coming up next. Miriam, I really appreciate your perspective. It is always love for you, sis. You are such a blessing, have
Yes,
always
ma'am.
will be, and I always respect your perspective.
Oh,
And
I appreciate it.
y'all, this woman here, and this is why I wanted to talk to women in my circle who I know are strong and they are independent, whether they are in relationships or not. The head on their shoulders, they are successful because they're going to tell you the real. She doesn't have to sugarcoat.
About 9/10 of a
She's
mile
able
to Georgia
to,
120.
whether you like it or not, I can do with or without you. And she's always been like that. And I absolutely love it.
At the end of the day, the only person you have is you, right? So it's really up to you how you handle it. Um, you can sit there and come up with excuses all you want. I wasn't born in this country. I didn't speak the language when I got here.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to put myself through college without the assistance of tuition because I decided to get my associate's degree first. A lot of people are very prideful. They feel like they have to have a bachelor's degree
Mm-hmm.
off the gate from the best colleges. Why? Why does it matter? It's still the same degree, right? It's still the same piece of paper.
Proceed about 9/10 of a mile.
I went
to
ahead and put
Georgia
myself through
120.
college, working full time.
9/10 of a mile.
Same thing when it came to GGC when I went to get my bachelor's. Went through and worked as a RA, still worked a full time and
Mm-hmm.
paid my tuition, right? Got my degree. You can do it. It's really up to you. There's avenues to assist you, especially if you are a citizen, especially if you are from that state. In-state tuition helps. Um, Same thing when it came down to buying a house. Everybody kind of expects to just jump in and buy a 3-4 bedroom house with 3 bathrooms, this and that. No, start out small. I bought a condo,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then after a few years, once Once I got some equity in the house, I was able to sell it and buy a bigger one. You can do it. I wasn't born in this country. I didn't speak the language. I didn't have anybody to guide me through these steps. I didn't have a rich mom and dad to help me out, right? But I also didn't depend on the man to take care of me. So it's really up to you and how bad you want it. And if you're able to have self-discipline and create all of that for you, it's a little bit harder for you to submit to a man who's not at your level, who's not doing as much as you are, and who's not as motivated as you are. So there's that factor too.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to balance each other out and find your equal. If you're with someone who is constantly bringing you down, who's not at the level that you're at, you're also going to have that issue. You don't want to have to take care of someone else or keep someone else motivated at all times while you're trying to get your own self motivated, your own stuff going. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really up to you to create all the excuses you want in the world or to not let a single excuse stop you.
I love that. Yes. So true. Thank you so much, Miriam, for sharing.
Absolutely.
Yes. I totally agree with you, girl. You just came here. You're speaking facts. Definitely. Well, get home safely, my love, and thank you again, and we will talk later, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, good night.
Good night. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Proceed about 4 miles on I-75 south.
Uh-oh, Mary, how do I get
I
how do
don't
I
know. That's
get you
what I'm
up?
trying to figure out.
Just got alive and come back.
That's what I was trying to do. The little X button won't work.
Well,
I'm
while
like,
she's figuring, I know I sure don't know. What's up, Mario? Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, awesome.
Okay, cool. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Miss Miriam?
hi. Since I'm still up here.
That's all good.
Trying to figure out IG. I've seen it all.
No, that's all. I don't know it neither. This might be my first time that I'm actually on a three-way live. So
It's my first time on a two-way line, so definitely my first time on a three-way line.
People be making this look so easy.
Yeah, it's just like I'm still trying to get the hang of the whole social media thing. I spend so much time at work. I don't even realize when something is updating anymore. I just gotta get them.
I figured it out. All right, Miriam, see ya. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. All right. What's up? What's up?
So much has happened since we last spoke, for real.
Yeah.
Working like crazy. But
yeah.
you know, I do the whole biomedical transport and stuff now. But I'm transitioning into EMT firefighting, so.
Oh wow. Awesome.
Yes. That's rough.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Congratulations to you. I'm so happy to see how you've grown your platform, and I try to tune in as much as I can between this and your business page, and I really love everything that you're doing.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm glad you got to come on here tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's get into it.
Let's talk about it, because
now
when we talk, we talk.
We talk. So we've heard the women's perspectives, and so now let's hear the man answer some questions, because the questions were rolling in, and I can't speak for a man. I can speak on behalf of the ladies, but let's start with some hot topics. Let's scroll up.
Let's see what we got here.
So let's go with Jay's. Now he said, all right, man, don't let me down, brother.
No, I got you, Jay. We in the building now, man. It's time to speak up.
Okay. So the question is, why aren't the men stepping up?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I think a big part of that has to do with the man that you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, you have those men that are ready to step up, and you have men that can lead and that can do everything that you do and some. But we're also living in a day and age now where, you know, women get bored easily. Some women can have it all and not too much be satisfied because they still want that thrill. They want that. They want that. What's a good word I can use? Some people like to live dangerous, I should say.
Some rush.
Yeah, that rush. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah. So I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the type of man that you do deal with, because me personally, I don't want a woman that's just, lazy. Like I like a woman who can do for herself. I love it. I absolutely love it. I commend it. I respect it. I respect everything that y'all have had to overcome. But like I said, most days, I mean, just like it is for a woman, it's hard for them to find somebody. It's also hard for a man to find that woman who actually can do for her. And me personally, like how I look at it is, yeah, you can do it all. You have this man in front of you, and I'm only speaking for myself because, like I said, I know men be tripping, but again, it just all depends on how the woman accepts you, because we have to separate. Like when we're talking submitting and a man doing for you, are we talking about the needs and the wants, or are we separating them?
Let's go with both.
Both. Okay. So I take care of the bills.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting groceries in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pumping the gas. I'm doing everything that needs to be done. You don't have to worry about lights going out. You don't got to worry about a meal being missed. The kids are well taken care of. What else do you need to satisfy you?
Okay, so we talked about that with the women who said protect and provide with consistency. So not only were they speaking of providing, taking care of the bills and providing financially, but providing emotionally as well. A lot of guys today are emotionally unstable or emotionally detached. And so, yeah, like the bills may be paid, right? Like there may be food on the table, but you also have a man who doesn't understand what you need emotionally. And he thinks that just because he's providing financially, that he doesn't have to
Be
give
there.
anything else.
Right. Okay. So how does one go about that? Because I've dealt with a woman who
Jackson, listen, hold on. Let me address Jackson really quickly. Okay. Jackson, now listen, brother. If you got something that you want to share with the people, come on, cause it's
bring
open.
them in. Look, two is better than one. We probably can feed off of each other. Bring them in.
Right. Cause he in these comments going up. Okay. Sorry.
No, you all good.
So we're
come on, Jackson, jump in with me, dog.
Right. So we're talking about providing financially.
Okay.
Kiara, you can come. No, never mind. I was about to say Kiara can come in here too, but I'm not putting her in Jack live. It would be too much.
Yeah, it might take it over, huh?
um. So yeah. So we were talking about providing financially and emotionally.
Okay. So like, I've dealt with somebody as to where emotionally she just wasn't there. And it's like when you have some people like they're hard to get close to like mentally. And I always say, like, when it boils down to somebody's emotions and what's going on in their head, it's always them versus them. You could say all of the right things in the world, but until they're ready to get over that themselves, it makes it's always going to make it harder for you. So, I mean, isn't that in itself a form of submitting? And how does one get to that point with you if you're not allowing him that?
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you're saying that if she is struggling in her own head, it doesn't even have anything to do with you,
Mm-hmm.
then how can she get to a place of submitting?
Right. Like so that he can be emotionally drawn to you, because when women shut down, they shut down. And
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, it's just, oh, I'm going through stuff right now. I'm going through something. I got a lot on my plate. And you have those men to be like, okay, well, how can I help? Like, what is it that you need from me? Because I can go out, I can bring in the flowers, and I can do all of the spontaneous things. I got that down packed. But in regards to what it is that you need, because women still are very prideful. So at some point, there has to be some type of opening so that the man can actually show you what it is that he can bring to the table and what it is that he can do for you. So I think it's kind of hand to hand sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a matter of what's going on mentally.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That makes sense. Let's look at these comments. Men lead with money because that's what women make it seem like that's all they want. Okay, now I've heard that. I've heard that before. And maybe Jamario, you can let me know what you think about this as well, because we're talking about emotions,
Mhm.
right? And I honestly think that if she's not in a place to accept what you're giving to her emotionally, you know that what she's dealing with has nothing to do with you. If you can't sit in that with her, I would never encourage that. But if you feel like it's something that you can handle and you want to support her, maybe she started experiencing this stuff after y'all been together for some time, or um you feel like you can see something in her that she can't see in herself right now,
Mhm.
then maybe maybe you could teach her, maybe you can help her, kind of be supported in a way. But if you can't, I think what a lot of people do is kind of like blame the woman and say like, "Oh, you're crazy." know, Women, y'all so emotionally unstable. What is it? Emotionally unstable creatures.
Mhm.
Like y'all just sensitive. Oh, it must be that time of the month. You got an attitude. What's wrong? And like she really may be dealing with some things when she say, I'm going through some right now, because here's what a lot of people don't understand about women, right? Our bodies are always going through change,
Mhm.
right? So I know what happens to our bodies once a month for most women.
Mhm.
And we experience changes in our bodies that we sometimes cannot explain. This is not something that men go through. So sometimes y'all think, oh, she just tripping, when really she can't even understand what she's going through right now. Right. And instead of a man saying, like, okay, you know what? Let me protect her as a man should. Let me see what she needs in this moment. Maybe it's some space that she needs. Maybe you need to sit and listen to her vent. Maybe she needs some sort of self-care, run her a bubble bath, rub her feet, cook her dinner, clean up the house, take her some, a lot of men don't think that. They just go to, she crazy, she toxic, ain't got time for it. And then when you hoping she in a better mood, then you call her and you say, well, I didn't mean to, and it wasn't like that, and that wasn't my intentions, but Shawty, you was tripping. And then you gotta cut them off. So
let me ask
argument. So now we're talking about, so let's branch over to the financial side of things, where he's saying men lead with money because that's what women seem like they want. Okay, there's a difference between a woman who needs your money and a woman who wants your money. Okay. And I seen somebody on here talking about, oh, it's the men we choose. We talking about bums. Men pick bums too. That's right. And then they get on and they talk about how women are gold diggers, and they talk about, she asking for to even pay for herself and all this stuff. So women like money, men like money. But if you're picking women, just like I talk about how we pick pick men, if you pick women who only want you for your money or are only impressed by your money, then you should pick somebody else too. There are some women out here who could care less about your money.
right.
But also some women who understand, like, hey, brother, I'm in a financial position that requires you to be in the same tax bracket. And if I got it, you should have it. We should be here. I shouldn't have to pay for everything because you don't have it. Or, the live gonna cut off in 2 minutes, so we'll come back on. This has been longer than expected. This is this has been a good topic. But
okay. But at what point? All right. So when you say that, like, you have to bring that to the table, like you have to come with it. Are you looking at that? And I'm talking to all women right now. Are you looking at that from a materialistic standpoint? Do I need to drive a certain car, or you know what I'm saying? Do I need to be dressed a certain way for you to determine that first? Because that's what a lot of people look at these days, and they kind of just go off of that.
Well, I will say, let's see, men also flash how much money they have in trying to impress women. Yes, yes, yes. You just come into places and you see how men just pull out their money. Like, sir, your total was 572. Why are you pulling this? That's none of my business. But they would do it because they think they cute and they think you see it, and she may see it, but she gonna want it. And don't be mad at her when she got her hand out saying, oh, it's time for me to get my hair done. Or I got childcare fees, or my rent is due and it's right around the corner, because that's what men are flaunting. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it so we can come back in because it's about to cut off.
Okay.
All right.